Good morning, children. I hope you're all doing well. I'm getting a good response from each and everyone. Very good. So, this is the last video of the lesson. So, the same response I should get for this video also. And be prepared for CT. Okay, coming to the lesson. So, the topic is condensation. So, here you have to take a glass tumbler and pour some water into it at your convenience. So what happens here? As air surrounds the glass tumbler is in the form of water vapor. When the molecules of water and air during their motion, imagine that they strike the surface of the glass tumbler. This glass tumbler, due to its cool, these water molecules lose their kinetic energy and lower its temperature, so it converts into droplets. So energy lost by these water molecules in air is gained by the molecules of the glass tumbler. So average kinetic energy of the glass molecules increases. In turn, this energy transferred from glass molecules to the water molecules in the glass. So in this way, the average kinetic energy of the water molecules in the glass tumbler rises. So we can conclude that temperature of water in the glass increases. So this is the process of condensation. We can call it as condensation is a warming process. So what is the definition now? The phase change from a gas to liquid is condensation. I'm going to give a situation or explain a situation. So you observe when you finish your bath under the shower on a hot day in the bathroom, the number of water molecules per unit volume is greater, it will be more, but the number of vapor molecules per unit volume outside the bathroom will be less. When you try to dry yourself with a towel, the vapor molecules surrounding you condense on your skin. Due to this condensation of water molecules on the skin, you feel warm, and already I mentioned that condensation is a warming process. That is the reason you feel warm after a shower coming out of the bathroom. So here you have to make a note in such a way that condensation is a reverse process of evaporation. Evaporation is from liquid to gaseous state, whereas condensation is vapor to liquid state. So keeping those in the mind, let us discuss the differences between evaporation and condensation. Evaporation is a process where water changes into vapor, whereas condensation is a process where water vapor converts to tiny droplets of water. And this evaporation occurs below its boiling point, whereas condensation not required a particular temperature. Next, when evaporation takes place, energy is absorbed inside. During condensation, when condensation process going on, here the energy is released. So evaporation is a cooling process, whereas condensation is a warming process. These are the points or the differences between evaporation and condensation. Now coming to the topic humidity. We know that a vapor is always present in the air. This vapor will come from during the process of evaporation from different surfaces like rivers, lakes, ponds, and from even the drying of wet clothes. Not only these, from the sweat of a human body also, like so on. So the presence of water molecules in the air is said to make the atmosphere humid. Here humid means presence of water molecules or water vapor in the atmosphere or air. So What is humidity now? The amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity. So coming to dew, in the early morning during winter season, due to the atmospheric temperature goes down during the night times, you might have noticed the water droplets which forms on the window panes plus grass. As due to atmospheric pressure comes down, the surfaces like window panes, flowers, grass, etc. become still cooler. So the air near them becomes saturated with vapor and condensation starts. The water droplets condensed on these surfaces like window panes, flowers, grass, etc. is known as dew. If at all, if the temperature still more decreases or falls further, the whole of the atmosphere in that particular area contains a large amount of vapor. So the water molecules present in vapor condense on the dust particles in air and form small tiny droplets of water. These tiny droplets of water which are floating in the air due to condensation forms a thick mist which restricts visibility. This thick mist is fog. This fog we can see in the winter. In Arku, we can see this. Now, our next topic is boiling. So, here you have to take a beaker of water, keep it on the burner, and note down the readings of thermometer for every 2 minutes. You will notice the temperature of water rises continuously till it reaches 100 degrees Celsius. Beyond 100 degrees Celsius, we will not see any rise of temperature of water. But at 100 degrees Celsius, even though you supply heat continuously, the temperature does not increase further. Just we observe a lot of bubbling of the surface of water at 100 degrees Celsius. This is what we call as boiling of water. As water is a solution, they have many impurities which is dissolved in it. Sometimes of some dissolved gases also, but when water or any other liquid is heated, the solubility of the gases, what we have learned in 9th standard about solubility, it it contains reduces, so bubbles of the gas are formed in the liquid. Evaporation of water molecules from the surrounding liquid occurs into these bubbles and they become filled with saturated vapor whose pressure increases as we increase the temperature of a liquid by heating. At certain temperature, the pressure of the saturated vapor, which is in the form of bubbles, becomes equal to pressure exerted on the bubbles from the outside. On the whole, these bubbles rise rapidly to the surface and collapse at the surface, releasing vapor in the form of bubbles at the surface. That is what you observe during boiling of water. This process of converting whole of the liquid into vapor continues as long as you supply heat energy. This appears as boiling of water for us, what we see. So boiling is a process in which a liquid phase changes to gaseous phase at a constant temperature and at a given pressure. The temperature at which a liquid is changing into a gaseous state, that temperature is boiling point of a liquid. So each liquid will have its own boiling point. Boiling point means conversion of a particular liquid into its vapor state. Coming to definition, boiling is a process in which a liquid phase changes to gaseous phase at constant temperature and at a given pressure. So you have to remember the temperature at which the boiling takes place is called the boiling point of a liquid. The boiling point of a liquid here, water, is 100 degrees Celsius, or you have to remember in such a way 373 Kelvin. Differences between evaporation and boiling. Evaporation takes place at any temperature, whereas boiling takes place at particular temperature. Particular temperature means boiling point of a particular liquid. The temperature of a system decreases in evaporation, whereas the temperature of the system increases in boiling. And here evaporation, it is a surface phenomena. We observe only on the surface of the liquids how the liquid is converting into vapor state. Whereas when you come or observe the boiling of water, we see throughout the container how the boiling is happening. That is the reason it is bulk phenomena. During evaporation, it is a cooling process, whereas boiling, it is a warming process. So evaporation, seawater evaporates to form clouds, whereas water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Take small ice cubes in a beaker, insert the thermometer into the ice cubes in the beaker, and you have to place the beaker on the burner so that continuously you have to supply the heat energy, and for every 1 minute you have to observe the reading of a thermometer. Observe the changes till the ice completely melts and converted into water. At starting, when the ice starts melting, you will not observe any change in the temperature, even though if you are supplying heat continuously. So what happens here, whatever the heat energy you are supplied to this ice, increase its internal energy of the molecules of the ice. So this internal energy increase weakens the bonds as well as it breaks the bonds between the molecules of the ice. That is the reason this ice changes into water. The ice which is in solid state or solid phase becomes into water or liquid phase. Here the temperature of ice does not change during melting because the heat energy given to the ice is totally used by these ice molecules to break the bonds between the water molecules. The process in which a solid phase changes to liquid phase at constant temperature is melting. The temperature at which a melting starts, that is melting point. The melting point of ice is 0 degrees or Celsius or 273 Kelvin. You might have observed coconut oil and ghee getting converted from liquid state to solid state during winter. Similarly, when you keep your water in the refrigerator, the same thing happens. It means during the process of conversion of a liquid to solid, the internal energy of the water decreases so that it becomes a solid ice. The process in which a substance in liquid phase changes to solid phase by losing some of its energy is called freezing. The freezing of water takes place at 0 degrees Celsius. More point you have to remember, during freezing any liquid, when it is converted to solid, the internal energy of the liquid decreases, then only it becomes to solid. Is take a small glass bottle and with a tight lid, fill it with water completely without any gaps, and fix the lid tightly in such a way that water does not come out of it. Put this bottle into the deeper of the refrigerator for few hours. Now take it out from the fridge. What you are going to observe, the glass bottle breaks. reason behind this is the volume of water poured into the glass bottle is equal to the volume of the bottle. But when the water freezes to ice, the bottle is broken. That means the volume of ice is greater than the volume of water filled in the bottle. In short, we have to remember in such a way, water expands or increase in volume on freezing. That is the reason the density of ice is less than the density of water, what we have learnt in 9th standard. That is the reason why the ice floats on water. So you have to remember 2 note points. Water expands on freezing, density of ice is less than the density of water. During the process of boiling, we have learned that a change in state occurs from liquid to gaseous state. So keeping that in the mind, whatever the heat energy we are supplying, a change in state occurs converting a liquid into gaseous state. So the heat energy required to change 1 gram of a liquid to a gas at constant temperature is called latent heat of vaporization. This already we have learnt in 9th standard. So L is equal to Q by M. L here represent latent heat of vaporization. Q is a quantity of heat supplied. M is a mass. So latent heat of vaporization is represented by Q by M. Its CGS unit is calorie per gram. SI unit is joule per kg. During the process of melting, we have learned a state occurs from liquid to solid state. At constant temperature, the heat energy requires to convert 1 gram of a solid completely into a liquid is called latent heat of fusion, where this also we have learnt in 9th standard. Here L is represented by Q by M. L is latent heat of fusion is equal to Q. Q is quantity of heat supplied to convert a solid into liquid state, and M is the mass taken. So the value of latent heat of fusion of ice is 80 calorie per gram or 3.26 into 10 power 5 joule per kg. So with this we end the lesson here.